I'm very, very excited to be here today for Broadway World Television, because when Rob and Eddie told me that Bryan Batt was coming to town and that somebody had to interview him, I said, oh, please let me. I haven't done a lot of interviews for Broadway World. I did Leah Michelle, obviously, because we share a history, and I share a great history with Bryan. And so first we thought about doing it on Madison Avenue, the iconic, legendary location of Mad Men, the television series on AMC, that he's part of this great cast of ensemble actors that just won the Emmy Award, which I'm so excited about. But we're actually here in Sardi's. If you watch Mad Men, first of all, if you don't, you need to rent the first season and watch it, whether you get it through Netflix, you buy it, whatever, and catch up. And his character has had some alarming moments, because everything's sort of less is more, the unspoken, but he invites a coworker, a male coworker, over to dinner and pays total and utter attention in the presence of his wife, who tries to belong and offer and contribute to the conversation. And when he leaves and the air goes dead and stale, I was very stressed out. And
it was fun.
Just explain something to me. Is this directed? Is it a dynamic? Does everybody understand themselves so well that you can automatically do it? Or is it that pincer-pausey kind of explanation?
Sometimes it is the perfect synergy. Everything comes together and it's just, it all comes from the writing, because it's so brilliant. Right. But there were a couple of interpretations that I did not want to do. I really said, I really think that he does love his wife, and that he just has this crush, this inexplicable, attraction to the other coworker. It's not necessarily sexual, but he wants to be around him.
Well, it was almost poetic, because it was based on the writing and all that,
and how he viewed the art, how he viewed the Rothko and interpreted it, and it just lit up a spark. But no, we definitely wanted. There was one take they wanted me to really pull my hand away from my wife. And we tried it once, and Matt went, "No, I'll take it back. Don't do it.
He's that particular.
Oh my gosh!
Which is fantastic.
Everything is specific.
Which is sort of what Alex got in her piece. Did you feel equipped when you showed up on the set, or did you feel like I'm going to fail?
I was nervous as hell.
Yeah,
it's
because you had done film.
Right.
You're one of the few people. I mean, everybody knows this. Very few people get to create a stage role and then do it again in film. And you were so lucky in Jeffrey that you were able to recreate your role, which is highly unusual. So obviously you knew how to transfer, film largesse to small, but were you just in the company of great people that you learned from on your feet?
Yes. Oh yeah. Well, when I did the film of Jeffrey, I remember great advice I got from Chris Ashley when we did. He said, just forget there's an audience. There's no audience, and then match Patrick Stewart's level. And you try, but what I learned from that is and then from then on, and everything I did, you play the room you're in. You play the scene. If someone's giving you this, you give it right back.
Right.
You don't. Some people can only do one thing, or they.
But I mean, there's a boom over you, and you're not standing like you do on stage.
It's very technical.
Because you can allow different angles. Because how many camera shoot is it?
It's 2 camera.
It's a 2 camera.
But usually, rarely they're 2 running at the same time. But it's very technical. Like I'll have a line and a drink and a cigarette, and you have to, after every take, when you took the drag, if you said this, that, or the other, you have to do it at the exact moment. And they're always coming up.
Storyboarded, or it's allowed to happen?
It's allowed, because there's no rehearsal.
There really isn't?
There's no rehearsal.
That's shocking to me, because the skill is all over the place.
You really have to show up.
So you know who you are.
You know who you are, and you
you
block it, and then you go back and get made up.
Jealous for an experience like that. It's just so amazing.
Or you're driving home after shooting the whole day, and you go, "That's how I should have done it." But so that's why you really have to try.
I remember when Broadway World interviewed Sarah Ramirez. She felt, because I think she joined the cast after it was established, or shortly after.
Right.
Is that correct, Rob? That she said she felt like she was learning from a great group of repertory actors, that she was rolled right into television, right out of Spamalot, which were
across the street, cows, coconuts, and kilograms.
There it is, right out the window. It's just an amazing experience, but
it is.
How lucky you guys have been.
And John Hamm is so great. I'm in the pilot, I had one scene with him, and I just remember he was just, and it still is, so spot on, so prepared, such a solid actor.
I never heard of him before this. I was surprised he was on Jimmy Kimmel, and I guess they watch football together on Sundays.
Yeah, they're good buddies.
And he meatballs, they're good buddies, and he's just so normal and not uptight.
No,
you know what I mean?
He's great.
Now, your picture here is at Sardi's, right, with all the other clowns.
Yes.
On the wall.
Well, I used to
right here, Jason Biggs.
There you go.
And you're David Hasselhoff.
I'm in good company here.
And let's
love
see
me in
who else
Germany.
we have here.
Okay.
John Ritter.
John Ritter.
you.
That's so great.
There's some great people here. What year did that happen exactly?
That happened when I was doing Saturday Night Fever, one of the few roles I got to create on Broadway.
Right.
And
Not the John Travolta role.
No, I played this, the tacky.
You were the role that was Monty Rock the Third, right, in the movie? Because I was in the movie.
Right, yeah.
I was a dancer on Saturday Night Fever. I am really old.
No, that was a couple of weeks ago. No, but it was.
I saw those pictures on your website, and I thought, what the hell did you play with all the big hair?
Yeah,
and
like Ron Jeremy.
But you were that Monty Rock the Third based character.
I played Monty, and it was fun. They added some numbers. I sang Disco Inferno and Disco Duck, and I literally thought that the ghosts of Gershwin were going to come down and come suck the theater down into hell because we're singing those songs on Broadway. But
now this is season 2 of Mad Men.
Yes.
How many seasons are you signed for?
We are technically signed for 5.
Right.
But they're negotiating right now.
Right.
When they're finished with.
And where do you shoot? Is
LA,
that a secret?
No, LA Center Studios, downtown LA. It's a little small. It's where they shot.
And does a car pick you up?
No.
No, you drive to work?
I drive. The only time
come on, that's not glamorous.
There is some glamour. I will give you the glamour.
At what time do you go in?
It depends.
Like, what's been your earliest call?
6 a.m.
Your earliest been 6? That's pretty good, right?
Well, some of the girls that wouldn't have to do all the hair and everything, they're there at 4 a.m.
Wow.
Like and the latest...
The one who runs The Office, what's her name in real life?
Christina Hendricks.
Oh, my God, that is some part. That is some creation, isn't it?
Gorgeous. She's so beautiful.
The way she runs that office. And the way everybody drinks. I mean, does it make you want a cocktail when you get the hell out of there?
Yes. And sometimes we do. We have them in the makeup trailer.
Is your family just so
They're
proud?
praised. They're really excited.
Are both your parents alive?
No, just my mom. My father died right after I moved to New York.
Oh.
Back in '86. I moved to New York. He died in '85.
And were you close?
Yes.
Yeah.
Interesting relationship.
Right.
Didn't start off.
I didn't mean to divulge.
No, that's how we got to a really great place. We were just very different.
Yeah.
But you can love someone although you're very different.
Yeah.
And it took, but he was great.
And your family just must be so proud.
Oh, my mother's been so supportive of me all my life. And
your work is just fantastic, but I sit there and I just look at that cast, and really, you would have to say it's a cast of unknowns, even though we know you.
Well,
it's a total cast of unknowns, and now they're all known.
Yeah.
And there you were on that Emmy stage. I mean, nobody can ever take that away from you, ever.
That was so much fun.
I mean, was that a wild night?
Wild night. One thing I learned is bring a power bar and a bottle of water.
Right.
Always have that with
during the awards show.
Just sit there.
Because you just freak out.
We didn't know. I didn't know there wasn't going to be food. We got picked up at 2. I had breakfast at 10, and I didn't think to eat.
Oh, that's interesting.
Between, so I'm getting we're getting dressed. A limo comes. They wanted the 4.
You don't get a goodie bag if you're just part of an ensemble cast.
Oh, yes, you do.
Oh, you do?
There was so much swag.
What was the best thing? What was the best thing?
Boxes.
What was the best thing in it? If you had to pick one.
A little flip recorder. One of
the flip camera. We're big flip fans. BroadwayWorld loves flip.
Tons of sunglasses.
Do you share your gifts, or do you just put them all away?
I sent them all home. I sent them and I'm giving them away to
How great is that? How great
is
that?
We got a weekend stay at some great hotel in Malibu or in Santa Monica.
Wow.
I like that.
I think that'll all be changing soon in the new economy. I think that'll all be changing.
We're rescinding.
That's not even a laugh. That's sort of tragic.
No, it is. It is. But I'm hoping for another good season. I'm just hoping it continues because it's
and work begets work.
Yeah.
Is there anything? I mean, like I said, please go to his website because the Broadway career is solid. But a lot of people say they've been on Broadway, and I've known Bryan quite a long time. But I was stunned, to see actually how much Broadway he had done. I was
and
really,
he wants
really
to do more.
Stunned. Well,
I really want to do. You know what?
Now your box office, you see.
Do you think it might be?
But you've done plays, you know what I mean? You haven't really been limited too much, actually. Like I said, you could have become the chorus boy joke, and you didn't.
No.
And I think a lot of people envy that. And no two stories are the same. You can read Lauren Bacall's autobiography, and it's not going to happen to anybody else ever like that again.
Right.
And your career is going to be your mapped out career. But I think making bold decisions, I think getting older, being confident in who you are, not worrying about pleasing people, these are all part of the equation. Am I wrong?
No, you're right. But one thing that was interesting, like when you
not that it still doesn't hurt that when you get rejected or something.
Now it gets to a point where I just want to make sure my name gets in the mix.
You want to at least be able to compete.
Right.
Yes, exactly.
That's why I used to hate about not getting to audition. If someone's just let me come in and audition, see me, but don't discard me already. But I've been very lucky. A lot of my decisions were made for me. I took jobs because that was what was there. Phyllis Newman said to me once, she gave me some great advice. She said, take the job, then ask questions. You know, it's about the work.
It's old school, but it is. I believe that, and it is about the work. And I think also, I think cable, which people laugh about, has become really the old studio system, and I believe in it. And that's why I think they put out such great shows, because I think the control, I think the financing, I think all of that are very much what the studio system. Would you sort of agree with that?
I would agree, and also
is what it is, and I think that's why the greatness. You know, it's shocking to me. I'm not in television really. So much, but you know, the fact that HBO turned it down is shocking to me, I guess. And you know, Matthew, you had the last laugh. I thought that Alex really painted a wonderful, meticulous picture of him in that article. How did he feel about it? Do you know?
He liked it. You know, he's an honest guy. It's not, you know, warts and all. I mean, he's not going to try to hide and pretend he's something that he's not.
Yeah.
Trying to make himself look like, you know, this pristine, wonderful. But he's so hands-on. I mean, but like you were saying, it's one person's vision. It's not a whole bunch of people behind a desk saying, well, what do they want in Ohio? Or what do they, you know, basically, he creates the episode, shows it to AMC, they like it, it goes. You know, that's it. It's
just fantastic, because that and Breaking Bad are making a big splash. Is there anything you'd like to say? I tried to cover stuff that wasn't covered in all the other interviews.
Yeah.
If you Google him in connection with Mad Men, there's been a lot of articles in both gay and regular press, mainstream press, New York Times, all this kind of stuff. But I didn't want to focus on that stuff. When's your character coming out?
It's just so. What would he come out to?
It's just so stupid. You know, but you're so much more interesting, and I think people are interested in your story and then how it happened, and how you know, people are always like, do you have any advice for somebody starting out? There's no path anymore, is there? There are no rules.
There's no path. I think, you know, you used to come to New York, pound the pavement, go to the open
call. It's very
different
now.
Very different. It's but even when, like, years ago, I loved the theater so much, and I loved the work so much.
Yeah.
It really is.
I think if you love the process, you find your way. But it's something that's going on like Mad Men versus Gossip Girl.
Right.
Where you're just finding the newest, prettiest. You know, I guess they can act. I don't really know. I haven't really analyzed the show, but they sure look fantastic out in the Hamptons in the summer. I was watching it last night. I watch everything. I feel like it's my job as a pop culture junkie. And because of TiVo, I get to watch everything once at least during a television season to at least understand what people are talking about. But, you know, I have to say, if you were going to land a job, I mean, you're in the equivalent of The Sopranos.
I can't.
In terms of, because who were all those people in The Sopranos before The Sopranos was?
Exactly.
And now we know these people's names and their guests and you know, and it's...
hopefully come back and do theater, you know, after that with
well, it's great that you have a season. The season has an end, and you have a window of time.
We only shoot 5
because you're only exclusive during your
I can come do any. Well, call my agents.
That's right. So, do you want to do the closing thought for us, or anything, or say anything?
I want to say, years ago, I was doing a show. I was doing Joseph, and it was with Johnson Lift was casting, and I couldn't get an appointment for Sunset Boulevard, which I wanted to do really badly. And I said, all right, mister, you think you've done, I think it was like my 4th or 5th Broadway show, 4th maybe. And I said, yeah, man, I just finished Jeffrey. I said, well, you have to prove yourself. So I went to the open call, got in line with everybody else, and went in, sang, got called back, and ended up getting the job. But it's, you know, it's a perseverance. You gotta keep on doing what you do. You know?
Yeah. I'm thrilled. I'm just thrilled to see you. And
you
I'm
know,
so
every time
proud
I
of
see
you.
you, I think about dear friend Lloyd Beachman.
Our dear friend Lloyd Beachman, you mentioned Vinny Liff.
Yes,
you know,
Vinny Liff,
had a brain tumor and passed away. I feel like we've lived a bunch of lifetimes. This new Ken Duncan book that just came out, which is so fantastic.
I haven't seen it.
And he, you know, was one of the earliest people we knew of to die of AIDS. And you look at all those pictures and all that fabulous people. And Bernadette and I were talking about this again. Oh, did I drop a name?
Okay, another one.
But just like, I feel like we've lived like 4 lifetimes, and it's
not
like why are we here, but the question is just like, wow, the things are so cyclical, and people come and go, and you know, even BroadwayWorld, when I did a benefit for them for a Christmas show, you know, they found Jill O'Hara, and I'm like, the Jill O'Hara, you know, promises. If you care and you have and you bow for what it is you fell in love with about the business, it's quite great. But you've had a unique career and a unique opportunity. It just seems like your life's going very, very swimmingly.
Very, very happy.
You must feel blessed. And
I'm very lucky. I wake up and I'm wired happy. You know, my mother said, ever since I was a kid, you said you're always smiling when you woke up, and I try, every day is kind of a new day.
Hi, Brian's mom. I don't think I've ever met your mom.
Oh, you'd love her.
Yeah. How's the store doing? Tell us about the store.
The store is doing well.
And where does your customer base come from?
Mainly New Orleans, but now nationwide because of the website, and I'm filming Martha tomorrow. I'm going to be on Martha's store.
Oh, you are? Wow, puff.
Yeah, I'm mixing cocktails.
You and Perez Hilton doing Martha. Wow, Rosie O'Donnell, you know, who we're both good friends with. just
open for Ellen, another New Orleanian that I've known for
Oh, is she
years.
from New Orleans?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, I wasn't aware of that.
Her best friend and my best friend were brothers and sisters. I remember sitting at the table with Ellen before she even started. She was thinking about, she would go to some comedy club.
You guys didn't bump into each other at the local gay bar?
No. No, I don't do that.
There was no local gay bar.
No.
It was all, actually, New Orleans is a gay bar.
It is just one big gay bar.
It's one. And has the atmosphere lightened up? I mean, is the celebratory tone there? Do you feel like it's fake? Is it real?
No, it's real.
Because we know that just a little bit farther out,
Yeah.
it's not Bourbon Street.
Oh,
but
yeah.
does it feel like it's at odds with itself? Does it feel like it's like, what does it feel? Does it feel honest, or do you feel like it's being pushed on people?
No, I think it's honest.
Because their spirit is honest. I've seen those episodes of Nightline.
Yeah.
You can't forget about what happened in New Orleans.
Yeah.
It has not gone away. I knew this after Hurricane Andrew, because I bought my house in Miami, and not 6 weeks later was Hurricane Andrew. And we did not recover for a very long time, or the San Francisco earthquake. I was directing Les Mis there in '89. The long period of recovery. It's not just over and under the carpet. It's really not.
It was so devastating. I mean, really, so many lives are lost, so much property damage, so much.
But I saw people get weary this time. They just couldn't do it one more time. When they evacuated, they just said, "This is it. I'm done." That is very depressing.
Yeah, it was really. I was coming in.
Depressing to the human spirit.
It is, but it's a pain in the. I hate to say it, it's a pain in the ass, but you have to do it. Like this last, I said, the last evacuation went really like clockwork. People
they were ready, which is
ready,
great. Lessons learned.
Like good, you did it right.
Yeah.
But your soul, it's like, oh God, not another one, please. And when you're in evacuation, you're away, and your heart is just right up in your throat, hoping the levees hold and everything. And thank God everything did go right.
Well, anyway, I think we've covered it.
Have we covered everything?
I think so. So we're here live at Sardi's with Bryan Batt's picture there. For all you people on the West Coast who are going to be watching, this is the real Sardi's, no clowns around. We're in between the lunch and dinner shift.
Yeah, the gypsies will be coming in.
And it's great. And thanks for talking to us, and thanks for talking to me more specifically, because I'm
so glad it was you.
begged them to to let me interview you, because I was just dying to talk to you and ask you these things I think for the fans of the show itself, because they probably read all the other stuff, so I wanted to fill in the cracks.
I'm glad.
And also just to sort of back up the theater part of the career, because it's important to us. And again, the Sarah Ramirez's, the Christine Ebersols, all the people that, and I know it's about being grateful to work. I know it from Betty Buckley, who was in the M. Shyamalan film. She'll do a CSI. Well, you guys are friends. You guys did Sunset Boulevard together.
We're still friends.
She always says, "Send Brian my letter." I send her everything I send you. When I find stuff online, she goes, "Oh, I love him."
She was the most. I heard all these stories. Well, Tom and I were producing Forever Plaid at the same theater. I'm on the board. And I had not gone on for Joe Gillis the entire time Glenn Close was in the show.
Right.
Alan did not miss a show.
Right. Alan Campbell. Right.
And I was like, "Argh!" And anyway, so Glenn was leaving the show, and I went home for a week for my vacation to get this show open up. I come right before my vacation's over. They called and said, "Get up here. You're going on tomorrow." That was Monday. So Betty had just started. I'd not
get up here from New Orleans.
From New Orleans. So Betty,
was there a radius rule? Didn't you have to be? Didn't you have to be like within a certain radius?
Yeah.
Like Karen Mason used to have a beeper.
Oh yeah.
And she'd be around. And they could beep her at the intermission.
Yeah, that was my regular. I was on vacation, literally on vacation.
Oh, you were on your vacation. I see. Sorry.
And I came in and I heard all. Everyone tells stories about, oh, Betty, she's temperamental and difficult.
Or as they say in title of show, a hot box of crazy. Which we were dates. I was Betty's date to hear Hot Box of Crazy. We had a blast.
That's what I want to see. I got to see that too.
Yeah, before it closes. It's a wonderful show.
Oh no, okay. I'm gonna go see it. So then I showed up to the theater. I had to go in with Darlene Wilson, the late Darlene Wilson, who I just adored. She was the dance captain, and I went in. I think they changed dance moves for Betty, different staging things that she gave me, and then I was going to run some things with Betty. And Betty showed up right on time to work with me with a huge bouquet of flowers.
Oh, sweet.
And she said, "You're going to be magnificent." And I think that night also, maybe it was the next night, I would go on a couple nights, they put in a key change. In the middle of the song, I was like, "Come on! I'm just do this."
Key change for you?
Yeah, they were to alter one of the keys.
Like in Sunset Boulevard? Were you screaming anyway already at break?
I think it was the waltz in the year, are my favorite.
Oh my God. We've been trying to wrap this up, and I'm going to wrap it up because I see the light changing, but I just want, now that you're telling the Betty Buckley story, so here you are on the couch with Betty Lynn Buckley. And the big nails. What is that moment like the first time in life? Because you hadn't done Cats together, right?
No.
So this is the first time, so you're meeting the first Betty Buckley.
Yeah.
And the nails are going into your head.
I loved it.
Like, what was that like?
At first,
do you have a picture of that?
I do have actually there's a little footage.
Really?
B-roll, because Alan was sick. when they were taping her B-roll, and I'm
How
in a little bit of
convenient
it.
for you.
Yeah,
How convenient.
Well, I did have it somewhere, and it was really wonderful. It was like playing like tennis with the Wimbledon champion. It was just like she was hitting these balls back, and I was like, and I'd been directed.
But you're on top of her on the couch,
yeah, on the couch
with her nails digging in her head. That had to be out of body. Come on.
I think I got happy.
I mean, that's like working with Kim Stanley. That's how great that is.
And it was, all these intimate scenes, and just, and it just,
all right, so this is the bottom line. We could talk forever. We're probably going to continue off camera, but say goodbye, folks. Goodbye, folks. Happy Broadway World audience.
Go see a show and watch Mad Men.
That's right. Bye-bye.